Go ahead, Amanda. Sorry, I was talking and muted.
Oh, it's fine. Okay, so I'm going to start with our devotional this week. And today I'm going to be talking about servanthood and just about how to be a leader, you have to be willing to serve. So there's 2 pages of this, but I'm just going to kind of pick and choose and read a couple different sections, and then I'll talk about them. The godly leader is a servant. Jesus called them together and said, "You know that the rulers in this world lord it over the people, and officials flaunt their authority over those under them. But among you, it will be different. Whoever wants to be a leader among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first among you must be your slave. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others, and to give his life as a ransom for so many." He sat down, called the 12 disciples over to him, and said, "Whoever wants to be first must take last place and be the servant of everyone else. Work for the good of others. Don't be concerned for your own good, but for the good of others. We should help others do what is right and build them up in the Lord. Therefore, whenever we have the opportunity, we should do good to everyone, especially to those in the family of faith." This is from John 13. After washing their feet, he put on his robe again and sat down and asked, "Do you understand what I was doing? You called me teacher and Lord, and you are right, because that is what I am. And since I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you ought to wash each other's feet. I have given you an example to follow. Do as I have done to you. I tell you the truth, slaves are not greater than their master, nor is a messenger more important than the other who sends a message. Now that you know these things, God will bless you for doing them. Submit to each other as Jesus did, and farther, submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourself. Don't look out only for your own interests, but take an interest in others too. You must have the same attitude that Jesus Christ had. Though he was God, he did not think of equality with God as something to cling to. Instead, he gave up his divine privileges. He took the humble position of a slave and was born as a human being. When he appeared in human form, he humbled himself in obedience to God, and he died a criminal's death on the cross. And the last one I want to read is, "So fear the Lord and serve him wholeheartedly. Put away forever the idols your ancestors worshipped when they lived beyond the river in Egypt. Serve the Lord alone. But if you refuse to serve the Lord, then choose today whom you will serve. Would you prefer the gods your ancestors served beyond, or will it be the gods of the Amorites in whose land you now live? But as for me and my family, we will serve the Lord." I feel like all of those scriptures just talk about we can be leaders, but in order to be leaders, we have to be willing to serve. And wherever it said, "Whoever wants to be a leader among you must be a servant. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve as others." So when Jesus came, he didn't come then for us to serve him. He came to serve others. And I was joking with my sisters the other day, and we were talking about just it's so easy to get overwhelmed in things, especially when you're busy with work and with your side business or with kids and family and everything going on. It's so easy to get overwhelmed and think, I just have to take time for myself. I just have to focus on myself. I can't show up for my team or whoever else because I need to focus. And I completely agree that self-care is important. You do have to take care of yourselves, but I feel like we really have to be mindful of how we take care of ourselves. Are we wasting our time and calling it taking care of ourselves? Or when we need that break, are we taking that break to do something that is going to make us better, like spending time in a devotional, in prayer, in worship, in a self-help book? But I was joking with them that when Jesus was here, I don't think he woke up in the morning and was like, I'm going to take care of myself today. I'm going to focus on myself for a while. And then if I have time, I might go out and heal some others. I don't think that was his attitude at all. He was completely serving others at all times. And one thing that I know that I pray constantly is to make me more like you, Jesus. I want to be like Jesus in every day. And I have a long way to go. But one thing that I try to be better at is to be like Jesus and to be a server. And whenever I am overwhelmed or feel like I can't show up, I think back to how do I feel when I serve others with my Plexus business. I can't be a leader to my team if I'm not willing to serve them. I don't get to just say I'm the leader and try to tell others what to do, but I have to show up for them. I have to give them things to be a part of. I have to let them know what is going on in this business and be willing to serve them. And if they want to step up and be leaders for their team as well, they have to do the same. They have to be willing to serve their team. And I know whenever I start seeing people on my team message me about the income that they got and how that income affected their life this month, or the products, whenever I get a message from someone about how amazing they're feeling, how they're not in pain anymore, the weight that they lost that week, or how their sugar is balanced, all of that lifts me up so much and it makes me feel so much better. So serving others, it allows me to do that. So to have a growing team, you have to be a leader, but to be a leader, you have to be willing to serve others, just like Jesus said.
I think every single time we see Jesus getting alone in the Bible, he was always getting alone with the Father, because he knew that's where his strength came from. That's where his wisdom came from. Like, it was never just, I feel like our culture is I believe that we have to fill our cup, but I believe we fill our cup with Jesus. Like, we're very like, let's go get our nails done and get our hairs done. And like all of not that there's anything wrong with that. I do the same things, but we spend a lot of time wanting to like pamper ourselves and kind of call it self-care. And that's not the example that Jesus gave to us. Just adding to what Amanda said.
Okay. Am I going?
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like I'm going to repeat you everything I say. So just make sure everybody hears it. All right. So I was going to talk a little bit about owning your leadership, and to be a good leader and to be a good person, really, it takes a lot more than just the head work. It also takes a lot of heart work and just growing emotionally and stuff as well. And that's actually one of the reasons I love reading my Bible, or I love doing devotionals and stuff for my, like, just growing as a person and growing as a leader, because not only does it teach you how to be a good leader, but it's not all self-focused. I know sometimes I can read like a self-development book and I'll actually walk away just struggling more, maybe more ungrateful, because I'm realizing all the things I could be better at, and all the things everyone around me could be better at. And so that it just puts you in a bad headspace. But I feel like God always puts our focus on other people and serving and having the right intentions and the right mindset. And so, because he created us, that we thrive the most and we're the most happy and the most joyful when we are serving other people and helping other people and lightening other people's burdens, because that's what he did and created us to be the same way. So our intentions have to flow freely with our actions. If we're just doing things because we know it's the right thing to do, then it just, in the long run, we're not going to stick to it and stay with it, but we have to have the right heart posture and the right intentions as well. And something I feel like God's just really been showing me is, especially like over a couple months ago, I kept just hearing or thinking about, you're not a victim. And I feel like it's something I really needed for this season where we're at right now, that just knowing that you're not a victim where you are, and don't use hard circumstances as excuses or for us to just get stuck in our head and to be focused on ourselves, but just continue to like rise above it and just continue to serve and to be just show up for the commitments that you've made and the things that you have to do in your life, and like your relationships, like your business, for your kids. They don't have to struggle just because something's hard. So I came across a couple quotes the other day, and it said, the assumptions we make about others often have far more to do with our own insecurities than with the other person, and judgment grows easily in the soil of our own turmoil. And then another one says, two mindsets we can live with. I wish others would do that for me, and that's something that I can do for others. The first will actually foster resentment, and the second one is actually going to foster joy. I feel like to be a good leader, this applies to all areas in life, even like your relationships relationships with people, but part of being a good leader is having good relationships with other people. And we have to learn how to communicate. It doesn't mean that no one ever steps up, but we have to communicate what we need other people to do, what their role is and what their job is. But we have to communicate that, but we also have to be looking for how can we serve others, not how can they serve me that way. Because one, it really does. You start to get resentment towards people when you're just focusing on, I wish someone would do this instead of like, how can I help someone else? And if I need someone to do this, I need to tell them. God has actually instructed us to fix our thoughts on things that are good, things that are praiseworthy, things that are lovely. And he has also instructed us to control our tongues. So we have to be very careful about the way that we're saying things, and also make sure that we're lifting other people up with our words and not tearing them down. That's something a good leader needs to be good at, is showing other people what their potential is and what they are capable of. When I actually went Ruby in this business, I was not even thinking about going Ruby that month, but mom messaged me like 2 days before the end of the month. And she's like, I really think you can go Ruby this month. And like was telling me that I was capable of it. And I was still at least 100 points away. We have like 1 day left, but because she believed in me and she told me that I was capable of it, then I actually started shooting for it. And I earned it. I made it to Ruby. So something I talk about a lot is how to be successful in this business. You have to help other people be successful. And so that was something that mom helped me do, is just pouring into me and showing me that I was able. I kind of got mixed up on my notes. So sorry if that doesn't make sense. One more thing I wanted to cover was just having a heart and a posture of gratitude. It doesn't always come easy, but it's easy for us to fix our thoughts on what's going wrong, like the things that are going wrong, and to find the problems, but it's not always easy to find the gratitude in things, just be grateful for things. But it is something that we can train ourselves to do, and then it'll actually come easier to us. But all of this is basically like, this is who you want to be, so you can model it for your team, so that is what they can be as well.
One thing I think a lot of us have trouble doing is even viewing ourselves as a leader. We feel unqualified, we feel incapable. And one thing that I've heard a lot is like, everybody has influence over somebody. And whenever we are building this business and we are sharing these products, and we are hoping that our influence will help somebody else see what their potential could be with these products and with this business opportunity. And we want to do that, but at the same time, we aren't viewing ourselves as that leader. So I want everybody to like look at themselves and understand that we all have the potential and we are all capable of leading people. Mothers are leaders, parents in general are leaders, teachers are leaders, just being like a good friend or an older sibling or whatever, like those are all things that you can develop, those leadership roles. But in this business, sometimes if we are not at a certain rank, then we don't feel like we are capable of being that leader. And if you have signed up one person, or if you have made it to silver or senior silver, then you should now have the ability to help that person do the same thing, just based off of your own experiences. And we really want to challenge you guys to start pulling out potential in other people. Whenever people on my team are signing up people, I will message them sometimes and they literally have no idea who I am. They don't care what I have to say. They don't value my input or what my influence could be, because literally I am some girl named Kara that they've never heard of before. They have no relationship with me. But if the person that they trusted is the person that is reaching out to them and pouring into them, then they might value what they have to say more, because it was their influence that got them to say yes to these products or yes to this opportunity. And we don't want any of you guys to count yourselves out of what you are capable of doing, or just maybe putting it on your sponsor or your upline. Because if you want to grow and you want to succeed, we have to start developing into a leader. And that's why we are pushing, was not pushing, but we wanted to take some time to talk about leadership today and seeing yourselves as a leader and kind of what it means to be a leader and what it means to serve other people. We have a really exciting month so far. We've had a really exciting several months. Our team has been in momentum. We have had so many people reaching goals, and it's been really, really fun watching everybody do that. And this month, we have more people shooting for some bigger goals as well. And we want to encourage everybody to step up to help and to be intentional about where they want to be in their business, to set those goals and to figure out what they need to do that. We talked about goal setting. I feel like goal setting is something that is talked about at the beginning of every single month, like set your goals, write your goals down, make a plan to get there. But now we are gearing towards the end of the month, and the beginning of the month and the end of the middle of the month, you're kind of figuring out like, what am I doing? Where am I at? Like, am I going to be able to hit this? Is it possible? You just kind of work without the clear vision that a lot of times we have at the end of the month, because we can see where our points are. We can see what we're shooting for. So we have 12 days left for the end of the month, and we have a lot of people shooting for same really big goals this month. So a couple things that we can do is together we can have the unity, we can create the excitement, we can cheer each other on. But I thought it would be really fun too if we started having a countdown of like how many more orders we were away for these people to reach their next goals. I know Amanda and Bailey are both wanting to hit Emerald this month, and they are both around what did we say earlier? Around 100. How many orders are you away from Emerald?
About 130.
130 orders from it away from Emerald. And Grace, I talked to her earlier, and she is 25 orders away from Senior Ruby. Crystal is about 25 orders away from Senior Ruby as well. We have Maggie. How many did she say she was away from Senior Gold? I think she said she was around 30 orders away from Senior Gold. Is that what she said?
I don't know if it was 30 or 30 points.
Huh?
I don't know if it was 30 or 30 points.
Well, if it's 30 points, we're 6 orders away from Senior Gold. So that's even more exciting. I didn't remember what she said, but I want to encourage you guys to be intentional and to start being willing to invest in your business. For one, there's a couple things that whenever it comes, Kimberly just said she's 8 orders away from Senior Gold. That's amazing. Like, we have so many people so close. I am currently 360 orders away from Diamond. I'm definitely shooting for that this month as well. Like, we are wanting to put it all out there, and we're all wanting to run together. But a couple things that we can do is we can be intentional. So whenever we are signing people up, sometimes it's easy to be a one-man show because you know what to do. You know that I've got to talk to people. I got to have the conversations. I got to post on the page, and I got to set them up. Like, that's it. But we have to be willing to get our people plugged in. We don't want to steal this away from anybody because we're refusing to plug them in. It's the same thing. Like, we don't want it to be like an Amazon experience. Like, they order their product off Amazon and they never ever hear from us again. Like, they don't want, they don't have the community. That is one of my favorite things about Plexus is we offer the community. And one of the reasons we started this team call, because community is needed. One of the reasons that I feel like I have thrived in this business is because I have people that I've been able to link arms with and go with, and I have people to pour into, and that's what we are here for. We are here for the community. So plug your people in. Make sure when you are signing up people, you are getting them in the Show Me training lounge. Make sure you are getting them in we start a new chat just about every single month because, well, one reason we have to start a new chat every month is because our team adds so many people that we usually outgrow the chat. So Facebook's like, you can't add any more people. But the good thing about the new chats is you're starting out everybody that's relatively in the same spot in their journey. So whenever we have the April chat, most of the people that have joined that chat are people that have started their products in April. So they can kind of, we can share the same tips. We can share the getting started tips and that initial support that people need. Make sure that you are telling your teams about the team calls. And remember, like, if you're a leader, you're showing up, and whatever you do is your team's not going to show up because I'm showing up. Your team's going to show up because you're showing up. You're the person that they're following. And your team's not going to show up if I message them and ask them. It's going to have to be you that's willing to message them and ask them. And something that I'm doing this month is there's a lot, I'm working on messaging a lot of my people, a lot of my level ones, and I'm offering them a $15 Amazon gift card if they want to host a messenger party. So it's the same thing as a Thursday night messenger party. It's going to be a little more personal. But I'm doing that to say thank you for doing that. Them referring people is helping me reach some goals, and then I'm using their referral link. So it's also helping them earn cash back. And I've had a lot of people that have said, yes, they're wanting to do that. And that's something I'm helping them get started. And then it's also helping me in return, and it's helping my upline as well for us doing that. So whenever I'm talking about, we have so many orders, I'm wanting you guys to be intentional about what you need to do and then get creative on how you can hit those goals. So if you are wanting to be intentional about hitting silver or senior silver or gold this month, break that down. You have 12 days left. Figure out how you can make it happen. And remember, you can hit these ranks with the help of your team if you're willing to reach out to them and pour into them as well. It does not have to be a one-man show. I don't have to get 360 orders all on my own. Amanda does not have to get 130 orders all on her own. We also have subscriptions going out and things like that, that is going to help snowball those effects on how that's going to happen. Looking at my notes over here. Also, don't be afraid to invest in your business. Amanda, Bailey, we offer incentive codes a lot. Not a lot, but when we're shooting for goals and stuff like that, or we have somebody specific that's shooting for a rank, we're willing to offer incentive codes for people. So those are usually $10 or $15 promo codes off of their orders. Whenever we make those are coming out of our pocket. We are making them out of our Hyperwallet in Plexus. Bailey is going to show you guys a video on how to use your Hyperwallet and how you would make these codes. But sometimes just following up and offering that extra $10 off or something is, whenever I have invested in my business and offered codes, it's usually been when I've been going for a rank, and I have never ever regretted it. My business building bonuses or my rank up bonus has always covered more than what I've ever had to put out in my business. So it's been an investment that I've gotten a good return on, and I've never lost rank once doing that. And then also you can team up with your sponsors. So if you're going for a bigger rank or you have a couple more orders and you want to give $20 codes out, you can ask your sponsor, hey, would you want to go in with me on this? And your sponsor could give 10 and you could give 10. Like, I don't want you guys to be afraid to invest in your business as you are trying to grow. And the last thing that, hold on, making sure I've got everything here. This is completely going back to what we were talking about before, but we're talking about serving like Jesus and being like Jesus and stuff like that. But one of the things about our business and one of the things about our community that we want to do, that this team wants to do, I know a lot of people like to keep like religion separated from work or separated from school or whatever. That's not something, if you can tell, that we're interested in doing here. Like, our main purpose and our main goal here is to glorify God in all things that we do. So everything that we do, we want to make sure that we're doing it with integrity. If it's not something that you want done to you, let's not do that to anybody else. I'm not saying that's going around. I'm just thinking about having integrity whenever we work our business. But we want to have good character and glorify God in everything that we do. And our products are really good products, and our opportunity is a really good opportunity. And we always talk about the bondage that this is helping people with. And I really feel like God is using this to break those chains and to break bondages and to give people the freedom that they didn't know that they could have because of what Plexus allows. I'm reading down there and it gets my train of thought. I see chats coming up. But one of the biggest things that we want to do in this business, in this community, is make an impact. And we always want to be, whatever we're doing, is drawing people closer to Jesus. We want people to see us and to know that we are always leading with him first. And if people are joining our team and they find salvation in Christ, I feel like that's bigger than any of the other things that Plexus offers. So I am just reinforcing that this is the type of team that we're a part of, and that's it's honestly the type of company that we're a part of. If you ever listen to a lot of our corporate leaders, they actually played like What a Wonderful Name It Is at like one of our recent conventions. at the end of everything. But that is one of our ultimate goals too, is just always doing whatever we can to lead people towards Christ and to know him and to always be viewed, or people see us through him as well. I'll look at these comments real quick. Okay.
And kind of going back to what Bailey said earlier, I think it is so easy to look at what's not working right now. Like if I'm not getting comments on buy sell sites, if I haven't signed up enough people that I want to, it's so easy to focus on those things. And I feel like I used to do that. And now I've gotten to the point of where, like this morning, I text my sister so excited that my messages got blocked, because that means I've talked to enough people finally that my messages got blocked. Like I finally had a group take off. And I've got to where, instead of looking at all the things that don't work, realizing how big of a blessing this business has been to me, how much it has blessed my family. And so to even, instead of looking at what's not working, remembering why I'm doing this, how it's blessing me, and what is working. So that just keeps me motivated to keep doing it. So even when I get overwhelmed, it's like I don't have time to put into it, reminding myself what has done for me already and what is going to happen as long as I keep showing up for myself and keep showing up for my team. So even if you feel like you've fallen back, do not be afraid to jump right back in. You've done it once, you know that you can do it again. Jump right back in. Remember why you're doing this and what is capable of coming from this. Set your goals, set realistic goals, just like when I was going to Emerald. And what I didn't get Senior Ruby and be like, okay, my next goal is Emerald. I was like, okay, next month I want to have 1,000 points. And then the next I want to have 1,200 points. And then when I met my 1,200 point goal, now I'm shooting for Emerald. So just remember that you can do it and why you're doing it.
Also, a lot of times whenever we are maybe complaining or something that we're not getting the results that we want to, sometimes if we take a look at ourselves, we can also see where maybe we've not been as consistent or we've not posted where we need to be. And I strongly believe that whatever we're putting out there, we're also attracting back to us. So if we're somebody that's complaining and we're grumbling and we have a negative attitude, like those are the people that are going to be attracted to you, is other grumblers and complainers. And we don't want to be those type of people. We always want to be putting that out there. So I'm always like, don't air any dirty laundry on Facebook or anything like that. Like just always, you want to be the type of person that you want to attract to you. And just always keeping that in mind too. And then that's whenever I feel stuck a lot of times, like I'll like get pen and paper and I'll listen to some podcast or something. And I'm like, I will try to think of like new ideas, like what else can I do? Like how, like, that's one of the cool things about this business is you can get creative and you can figure out a new way to prospect and things like that. Like the options are endless. However, I'm always going to encourage you to stick to our system while you are doing that, because stop, please stop. I don't know why you're not watching my kids, Amanda. They're back here.
Sorry, I thought they were all here.
But I'm always going to encourage you guys to stick to our system because our system works. But that's all we have for you guys today. Stop